It is late. You were sitting there just letting the pale blue light of a screen wash over your face. The rest of the room is totally dark. Near a whisper,
Yeah.
very intimate. What are you actually searching for when you ask a machine for answers in the middle of the night? Short pause.
Yeah, that really is the question, isn't it? We
Yeah.
sit there and we type our fears, our quietest doubts into a search bar,
Right.
just hoping that some algorithm will somehow decipher the emptiness we feel in our chests.
It is a wild thing to do.
Mm.
And, we are living in a moment where brilliant minds are out there openly describing humans as nothing more than hackable animals.
Oh, yeah, that phrase.
Right. It is a terrifyingly clinical view of who we are. There's this concept floating around Silicon Valley right now that the mystery of the soul, the concept of free will, the sacred depths of a person, that all of it is just an illusion.
It is entirely clinical. And then on the other side of that equation, you have these tech founders who, well, they no longer set out to simply build companies.
No, not at all.
They treat company building like they're creating a new religion. They speak of engineering an artificial entity that is 1 billion times smarter than the smartest human.
And, when you create something 1 billion times smarter than yourself,
Yeah.
what else can you call it but a god?
Precisely. You're building a deity.
Which brings us to our mission here. We need to look past the glossy, superficial status of these modern technological gods. We have to dive into the profound substance we are actually starving for.
Because it is a massive cultural shift. We are witnessing the construction of a new mythology. But it is built not on ancient hillsides, but in, air-conditioned server farms.
Yeah, humming away in the dark.
Right. We are so desperate for something larger than ourselves, yet we insist on building it with our own hands. This is the ultimate pursuit of status over substance.
We want the shiny utopian facade of a technological deity.
Yes, something we can measure, something we can code, something that grants us power while we entirely ignore the messy, bleeding substance of the human condition.
We are starved for intrinsic authenticity, aren't we? For grace, for true connection.
We are. But instead of seeking those things in the natural world or, in each other, we build glossy altars of silicon.
The parallels are just jarring when you look at the traits we are programming into artificial intelligence.
Oh, they really are.
We are giving it pseudo-omniscience. You can ask it any question in the universe and it generates an answer in milliseconds.
And pseudo-omnipresence, too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, right. It exists everywhere all at once. In your pocket, in your living room, in your car, across the entire global network.
And people are reacting to it precisely how you would expect them to react to a deity. There are actual worship groups forming.
Wow.
People are confiding their deepest, darkest secrets to chatbots. They're finding this bizarre comfort in the cold, calculated text of a machine.
But why does it feel so hollow? We are bowing down to something we built, something fundamentally less than the human mind that created it.
To understand the mechanism behind this, why we are suddenly worshiping the machine, we really have to look at what we have done to our own way of thinking.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this ties into how we process the world, Ray.
Yeah. Think about the framework proposed by Dr. Ian McGilchrist regarding the two hemispheres of the human brain.
The left and right hemispheres.
Right. For the last 500 years, Western civilization has become increasingly imprisoned by the left hemisphere. The left side is, it is narrow. It is hyper-focused, rationalist, reductionist.
It breaks things down.
Exactly. Its evolutionary purpose is to help us grasp things, to break the world into parts so we can manipulate them.
But it misses the bigger picture.
Completely. The right side, conversely, is responsible for the big picture. It contextualizes, it understands nuance, beauty, culture, art, and the sacred.
So we have basically championed the left side.
We have. By rewarding and surrendering entirely to the left hemisphere's way of seeing the world, we have systematically stripped the natural world of its meaning.
We took a scalpel to the universe. We cut it into tiny, lifeless pieces. And now we are staring at the fragments, just wondering why we feel so alone.
That is a perfect way to put it.
It reminds me of looking at a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful, sweeping canvas that moves you to tears, as if trying to remember something. But instead of standing back to let the art affect you, you hire a chemist to scrape off the paint.
Right, you break it down to its parts.
Yeah, you put the flakes under a microscope, you identify the exact mineral composition of the blue pigment, the precise binding agent in the yellow. You can explain the chemical formula of every square inch of that canvas.
But you have completely missed the art.
You have destroyed the meaning of the painting. We understand how almost everything works, but we know the meaning of nothing.
What's fascinating here is that this is the inevitable destination of a purely reductionist worldview. It creates a black hole of meaninglessness.
It really does.
And there is a philosophical argument that it is actually self-defeating. When you reduce everything to unguided, mindless processes, you destroy the very foundation of rationality.
How so?
Well, think about the computer you are using right now. If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the laptop on your desk was the end product of a completely random, unguided, mindless collision of atoms,
Yeah.
would you trust it?
Unlikely.
Would you trust the calculations it gives you? Of course not. No rational person would trust a machine built by pure, unguided chance. So why do we trust our brains if we believe they are the product of that exact same process?
Wait, hold on. Let me push back on that. Because a strict materialist would argue that the brain wasn't built by random chance. It was built by natural selection.
Sure.
Evolution optimized the brain for survival. So our reasoning can be trusted because it helped our ancestors survive. How does the philosophical argument respond to that?
That is the crux of the debate right there. Evolutionary biology optimizes for survival, not necessarily for objective truth.
Oh, interesting.
Right. If our brains are merely meat computers programmed solely to pass on genetic material, then a delusion that helps us survive is actually more valuable than a harsh truth that might lead to despair.
So a useful lie is better than a deadly truth.
Precisely. So the argument goes like this. If you claim the human brain is solely the product of an unguided process aimed only at survival, you undermine the reliability of the very instrument you are using to reason.
To do science or to argue for atheism in the first place.
Yes. The philosophical claim is that pure atheism pulls the rug out from under the very rationality we need to make sense of the world. The reductionist view becomes just too small a box for the human mind to live in.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the moment you realize that purely logical, mechanical worldview leaves you empty, panic sets in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, definitely. Panic is the natural response.
We realize we are mortal. We realize we are finite. And our modern status-obsessed solution to that panic is transhumanism.
Right. We decide to build our way out.
Exactly. We decide that if the universe won't save us, we will invent our way out of our own mortality. Look at what tech billionaires are pouring their fortunes into right now.
Cryonics, neural laces.
Yeah, attempting to map the brain's synapses so we can eventually upload our consciousness to a server. We view the human body merely as an engineering problem to be solved.
We are trying to become little gods.
Attempting to build a perfect eternal utopia through sheer technological willpower.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is the ultimate manifestation of status. We want the power of a deity without any of the moral accountability.
We want the crown, but not the responsibility.
Right. But what is the fatal flaw in this transhumanist vision? It completely ignores the reality of human damage.
The internal brokenness.
Yes, the internal brokenness that philosophers and theologians have wrestled with for millennia. Transhumanists try to artificially construct a paradise without ever confronting the heavy, dark reality of human nature.
Which makes you wonder, why does it feel so uncomfortable to look at our own damage?
It is terrifying.
It is. Transhumanism is just the ultimate superficial fix. It is like, okay, imagine standing in a massive living room that is entirely covered in shattered glass.
Okay.
That glass represents every cruel word we have spoken, every selfish act, all the deep systemic damage we have inflicted upon ourselves and each other.
The sin problem, essentially.
Right. And instead of getting down on our hands and knees to clean up the glass, instead of facing the pain, we roll out a magnificent, incredibly expensive high-tech rug right over the top of it.
Oh, wow. And that rug creates a flawless facade. The room looks pristine, the status is secured, you have built your utopia. But what happens the moment you take a step?
The glass crunches underneath, the shards still cut through the rug, you still bleed.
That bleeding is what tech founders are trying to avoid. They look at the blood and think, well, we just need thicker, better shoes, we need more armor.
Just more tech to cover the pain.
Right. They treat the symptom while ignoring the disease. If you look at the historical Christian narrative, it offers an entirely different framework. It is the conceptual inverse of transhumanism.
How so?
Well, transhumanism is humans frantically reaching upward, clawing their way toward the status of becoming gods to escape misery.
Reaching up.
Yes. The Christian claim is of a God who willingly steps down, becoming human, stepping barefoot into the mess and the broken glass to restore a severed relationship.
And regarding the fear of death, the very thing Silicon Valley is spending billions to delay by a few decades, the argument is that it was already addressed.
Yes, the historical claim is that the problem of physical death was solved 20 centuries ago through the resurrection.
Which is a wild paradigm shift.
It is. That event, whether one wrestles with it as historical fact or theological concept, is presented as an enduring peace. It provides a secure home that cannot fall down.
It isn't a speculative promise of a future digital upload to a server farm.
No, it is offered as a present reality of profound forgiveness, a substantive anchor for a person across decades of life.
So what does this all mean? If there is a framework, offering a cure to this immense brokenness, a way to find a home that does not collapse under the weight of our own failures. Why do we resist it so fiercely?
That is the million-dollar question.
Why do we sit in the dark, scrolling, feeling that heavy emptiness, yet pushing away the very concept of grace that might fill it?
Why do you think that is?
I think it is because we are completely obsessed with earning our place. We are addicted to merit.
Oh, entirely.
We live in a hustle culture where your worth is defined by your output, your resume, your optimization. We treat the universe like an unforgiving, cold-blooded employer tracking our metrics on a massive spreadsheet.
We want to earn it.
Yeah, you think if my good deeds outweigh my bad deeds, if my moral output hits the right metrics, then I will earn my status, then I will be worthy of peace.
We project our human scales of justice onto the divine. We assume the universe must be a strict meritocracy. Most belief systems operate on this exhausting treadmill, follow the rules, appease the demands.
And hope that at the end of your life, the scales tip in your favor.
Right. But true substance, true grace, operates in complete opposition to that.
Yeah.
Imagine meeting someone you deeply desire to marry.
Okay.
You sit down with them, and instead of offering a ring and a commitment, you hand them a massive, incredibly expensive cookbook.
Wait, a cookbook?
Yes, a 400-page cookbook.
That sounds like the worst Silicon Valley dating app idea ever pitched. Swipe right, then follow this compliance manual.
Precisely. You hand them the book and you say, look at page 152. Here are the precise rules for making an apple cake. If you keep every single rule in this book perfectly, without fail for the next 40 years, then I will accept you. If you fail, you are out.
It is completely absurd.
It is. We would never base our deepest human affections on a ruthless system of merit. It would be an absolute nightmare. Yet this is the framework through which so many people view the divine.
They view it as a distant, critical judge waiting for them to mess up the recipe.
Yes.
But true grace means acceptance is given at the very start of the journey.
That is the key.
The relationship is secured first. You are accepted unconditionally at the beginning, and that profound, unearned security sets you free to actually live.
It changes everything.
It is an act of deep pride to reject that gift, to cross your arms and say, no, I will go my own way. I will earn my own status. I will prove my own worth.
We are exhausting ourselves.
We really are.
Yeah.
We are exhausting ourselves trying to prove we deserve to be loved. We are running on a treadmill that never, ever stops. And the tragic part is, the unconditional connection we are starving for isn't something you can put on a resume.
No, it is not.
You cannot hack your way into grace. You cannot optimize your soul.
This raises an important question, though. How do you trust something like that?
Right, the friction point.
How do you trust a grace that feels entirely too good to be true, especially when the modern world demands empirical data for every single decision?
It feels like a leap in the dark.
But trusting in this grace is not meant to be a blind leap into the dark, devoid of reason. The invitation is toward an evidence-based trust.
Evidence-based trust.
Yes. Think of a marriage that has lasted 58 years. That deep, unshakable trust wasn't born in a single lightning bolt moment of blind faith. It was built cumulatively.
Day by day.
It was built on decades of observed evidence, on seeing that person show up again and again in the quiet moments, in the suffering, in the joy. The Christian framework claims that same rational, evidence-based foundation.
It doesn't ask you to turn off your brain.
Not at all. It invites inquiry. It invites you to look at the history, to look at the documents, to look at the lives transformed by it.
Which brings us back to our shared human experience. The root of the word skeptic comes from the Greek, meaning to look at something from a distance.
To observe from afar.
Yeah, and distance is safe. Distance protects your status as the objective observer. You can stand back, fold your arms, and analyze the concepts. You can debate historical validity.
You can intellectually spar over the philosophy.
But to truly know a person or to truly know the divine, you have to eventually give up your distance. I mean, you cannot love someone through a telescope.
That is a beautiful way to phrase it. Consider this. Someone can tell you there is a magnificent, bright red Ferrari parked right outside your front door.
Right.
They can hold out the keys to you. You can spend 1,000 years standing in your living room debating the metallurgical properties of the engine.
Arguing over whether the car truly exists.
Right, analyzing the overarching concept of transportation.
Right.
But you will never, ever know if it is real until you drop the arguments, walk to the door, open it, and look for yourself.
Or think about the nature of water. You can study fluid dynamics for an entire lifetime. You can memorize the exact molecular structure of H2O.
Calculate buoyancy, surface tension.
Yeah, thermal conductivity.
Yeah.
You can hold the highest academic status in the world regarding the science of water. But you will never truly know what swimming is until you step off the edge and feel the cold shock of the water enveloping your skin.
You have to get in.
You have to get in. When the historical figure of Thomas doubted the resurrection, demanding physical proof, demanding to see the scars, he wasn't mocked for his skepticism.
No, he was not.
His desire for evidence wasn't treated as a flaw. He was met with an invitation. Come and look. Step into the water. Deep breath. Slower and emphasized. It makes you wonder about the high-tech walls we all build around ourselves. What self-made metrics and exhausting spreadsheets are we hiding behind, hoping they will somehow prove our worth to a silent universe? What would it actually feel like to stop analyzing the water from the safety of the shore and simply step in, trusting that there is something profound, something real, waiting there to catch you? Peaceful silence. If these thoughts found a place in the corners of your mind and you wish to share these observations, you are welcome to join us.